you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who that? Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time. Hope everybody is having a good Sunday afternoon. We are doing this live right now. We're as live can be. This is the prediction edition here of the State of the Saints podcast, where we break down the New Orleans Saints Week 3 matchup versus the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the New Orleans Saints are traveling to the Pacific Northwest, take on the Seahawks team that has been really impressive over the last couple of weeks. But, you know, the Seattle Seahawks are going to be without some really key players in the game, including one that is a little bit under the weather. But the New Orleans Saints, they're going to be without some key players as well on the offensive line. We'll get into that in just a second, but I want to give a special shout out to those in the chat. Shouts out to those that are watching this, no matter where you are, wherever you may be, at home, at work, whatever. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. Just been watching these early slate of games. Really exciting football so far, man, across the board. There's some really good defensive performances by some players as well as teams. You know, shouts out to Vikings cornerback Isaiah Rodgers having a freaking game of his life. This guy has a pick six, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and a forced fumble. I mean, it's pretty clear that he's going to be the defensive player of the week. It's tough day at the office for the Cincinnati Bengals getting beat to sleep. As of right now, I think the score is like 41-3. And who would have thought of this, right? Who would have thunk this? The Carolina Panthers beating the brakes off the Atlanta Falcons 20-0, and they handed the ball off. And I'm actually watching Red Zone right now. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Man, can't make this kind of stuff up. And that's the reason why you play the games, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reason why you can't buy into hyperbole, Monday morning quarterback, and talking about the state of respected teams without actually looking at them. But it's pretty funny. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, man, this is hilarious. But anyway, let me give you what you're here for. Saints versus Seattle Seahawks. The Saints have a tough road game versus the Seattle Seahawks. And it's not going to be easy. But let's go ahead and talk about like some of the key inactives for the New Orleans Saints won't be playing in this game. You got Devon Vele, who had a touchdown last week. He won't be in the game. Devin Neal is inactive. He's a healthy scratch. Dylan Radins, who has been starting the last couple of weeks, he's not going to be active today. He's been dealing with an injury. Christian Boyd, Chase Young, and the one that just came out, Tele Fuaga, will not be active today, which is a surprise to absolutely no one, quite frankly, because did they score again? Quite frankly, because he's been dealing with that back injury, he's been dealing with a knee injury, and I think this is a really good time for the New Orleans Saints to kind of just shut the big man down. You got Asim Richards, who you picked up from the Dallas Cowboys. He started in quite a few games in his career. He was pretty steady on the right side. I think he'll be able to hold it down for Tallahassee. But looking at this list, there was some players that made some plays. Like I said, Devon Vele You're counting on Talese Fuaga to make some plays, on the offensive line. And also just Chase Young has been out of the lineup, which, it just makes you wonder, like, how serious was that calf injury? It kind of was minimized. Thought he'll be back maybe after one game, but just seems like, he just can't get it together. For the Seattle Seahawks, you got Nick Emenwari, the rookie out of South Carolina. He won't be playing. Julian Love. So that's your two starting safeties right there. Julian Love is a really talented safety. Devin Witherspoon, the cornerback, the really talented cornerback, the best one on their team, he's not playing. Zach Charbonnet is inactive. Connor O'Toole, Mason Richmond, and tight end Nick Keller up. So you look at the secondary of the Seattle Seahawks, they are pretty much decimated by injuries. And this is a great opportunity for New Orleans Saints to take advantage of that. I've been looking at some of the reports and some of the information coming out of Seattle. Shouts out to the Saints media on the ground there. There's weather issues. It's raining. So that means that the field is going to be a little bit wet, which probably means that the New Orleans Saints are going to be running the football. So the offensive line is going to have to push back the defensive line of the Seattle Seahawks, be able to run the football. The New Orleans Saints do not want to be out of this game. They want to make sure that they stay ahead of the chains, make the third downs, third and shorts, pretty manageable. And if you can do that, you can be in this game to the very end. Got to be able to utilize Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller in this game. Ball security is key. I mentioned the slippery field, so that may cause the ball to slip out. And also these wide receivers on the outside, man. Can somebody please make a freaking play? Like I believe that was my boy Wolf, on Twitter, said this earlier today. Like, can somebody please, like, from the offensive side of football, can somebody please take over the damn game? Like, the New Orleans Saints don't have any player that I've seen in quite some time just take over a freaking game. Can somebody just go out there, catch a 50-50 ball, go over 100 yards? Have somebody talking about the positive things about this football team, man, instead of just dealing with the same old song and dance every week. They're trying to find ways to win. Like, can somebody please just do that on the offensive side of the football? I don't care who it is. Just somebody. But defensively, the New Orleans Saints, you got to be able to zero in on Jaxon, Smith-Njigba. He's been playing really well over the last couple of weeks. Now, he is dealing with an illness, but he will be playing in today's game. And also Kenneth Walker, a really talented running back. You're going to have to be able to get him on the ground. Don't want to have him running wild, going over 100 yards on you, because that sets up the play action and down the field shots for Sam Darnold. Now, Sam Darnold is a guy that can make all the throws. He's a guy that is talented enough to get the ball into the hands of his receivers, as we've seen out there in Minnesota. So if you do not get pressure on him and allow him to just pick his spots, kind of how you did Mac Jones last week, he is going to get comfortable and he's going to deliver the ball on time. So the New Orleans Saints are going to have to figure out a way to get pressure on him to get him off his spot. Back to the offensive side of the football, we know that the Seattle Seahawks are a really talented team up front. They can rush with 4. They don't have to send all type of exotic blitzes and all that kind of stuff there in order for them to get home. So the offensive line has a tall task going up against this defensive line. You have your starter coming back in Trevor Penning. He will be playing for the first time this season at left guard. And, of course, you have Asim Richards, who is probably going to be the right tackle for today. I was kind of looking forward to seeing, Torricelli Simpkins to see if maybe what you got there. But, to see Trevor Penning come back to the lineup, let's see if this can actually pay dividends. All right. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be pretty tough for the New Orleans Saints in this game. I don't have the Saints winning this football game, folks, unfortunately. If they do, I mean, I would be happy, but I just don't see them winning this football game. The Seattle Seahawks just are a really good team defensively, and if they can run the football like they've done over the last couple of weeks, it's going to be tough for the New Orleans Saints. I expect for them to try hard, be there in the end. I don't think that Seattle is going to blow them out. Hopefully not. But at the end of the day, I just think that Seattle is just a better football team, and the New Orleans Saints still are trying to figure it out. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments. Says, look at them Falcons getting roasted. I mean, them boys getting beat to sleep. I mean, that they getting embarrassed out there. Falcons are losing. Yeah, the Falcons are losing 27-0 right now. Yeah, they getting straight mollywop. Who would have thought that would have happened? Let's go Panthers. Who hit that like button and subscribe to the SOTS on your way in. But honestly, it would be great to see the Saints win today because I put in a post, man. The Saints haven't won, I want to say, since like December 8th of 2024. That they haven't won anything, right? Even a game that they had versus the Jaguars was a tie. The Saints have not won a football game since December the 8th of 2024. That is unbelievable, man. So to say that they need a win, who that nation needs a win would be an understatement. And let me answer that question before, somebody was talking about Derek Carr and saying things like, oh, well, Derek Carr, the Saints haven't won since Derek Carr played. Man, let me make this very, very clear. All right. Nobody cares at the end of the day. I have, like, as tough as it's been over the last couple of weeks, I don't think I heard a Saints fan say, man, I wish we had Derek Carr. I haven't heard that one time. Nobody cares. Like, I honestly feel like the New Orleans Saints fans, as tough as it would be, they would be content with just going through the motions than to have Derek Carr as their quarterback. So you barking up the wrong tree, my friend. I'm just letting it be known right now. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares. But at the end of the day, the only thing that you can ask for at the quarterback position is to see Spencer Rattler continue to improve. I mean, he got the stamp of approval from a well-respected defensive coordinator in Robert Saleh. Let's just see if Robert Saleh is actually right about Spencer Rattler. It seems like, he's getting more and more comfortable as the quarterback of the Saints. He's playing really well. He's limiting his mistake, and he's taking what the defense gives him. To say that Spencer Rattler won't turn the ball over or fumble the football, I just think it's wishful thinking. I think it's going to come. It just happens. But if he can not allow those type of situations, those adverse situations get the best of him, then I think he'll be okay. But the Saints are going to have to run a football in this game. They're going to have to utilize Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller. And if they can actually run this football effectively, it will open up opportunities down the field. Maybe you will take a deep shot down the field. I mean, teams have been kind of playing cover 2 on the Saints, making sure nothing goes over their head, but they got to find a way to get these guys active. So hopefully they can do that today. And if they do, then they'll probably win the football game. But if they don't, then guess what? It's going to be more of the same. Penix got benched. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty tough. They put in Kurt. Yeah. Rattler, the future kid, has talent. Yeah, he has a lot of talent, man. I'm watching the Seagulls and Sheep game. That's a good game, man. Those two teams, that's probably going to be your NFC Championship game, to be honest with you. Oh, my goodness. Jay Browning threw another pick. I mean, man, them boys got more turnovers than a bakery today. They're going to have to figure something out. And it just shows you right there, like, look, maybe it was J.J. McCarthy the whole time, ladies and gentlemen, because Carson Wentz out there lighting it up. Rattler just played Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. This kid can play. Yeah, and had his best game of his career against a really good 49ers defense. That's why I say, man, you got to look at the magnitude of the games, the situations that dude has been thrusting into. And by dude, I mean Spencer Rattler, of course. You got to look at those type of situations. I know a lot of people like, oh, man, he didn't throw for 350 yards. He didn't throw for 3-4 like, bruh. The dude is getting better every single game. And I just think that people are just looking for reasons to yank this guy. And, oh, man, Lord forbid this dude turn the ball over today or next week. Like, my goodness, man, it's time to see what Shuck got. Time to see what Shuck got. Like, they ain't even looking at the game. I feel like most Saints fans that's criticizing Rattler, like, the TV, is in front of them, but they got their back turned. Like, and if something happened, like, oh, Rattler, fumbles the football. I told you. Like, waiting for a reason. Like, come on, man. This guy's playing pretty well. well enough for the Saints to win, and that's all you can ask for right now from a young guy like that. When the Falcons seen Penix throw that ball, yeah, I mean, look, you mean when the Panthers seen him throw that ball?
When I seen him throw that ball, I was like, oh my God.
When they seen him throw that ball, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, oh man, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, and then an impressive victory, by the way. Like they not just beating them, they beating the brakes off. Let's just hope that doesn't happen to the Saints today. TJ, I'm going to need you to start bringing props to the round table, show to troll, channel your inner Shannon Sharp. Look, I can't really troll this week because I actually picked the Falcons to beat the Panthers. You know, like I really did. And, you know, man, I was like, why the heck not? I've been picking the Panthers for the last couple of weeks, felt like they can get over this hump, you know, thought like, man, maybe they can actually get this thing together. And the game that I don't pick them, they end up beating the Braves off the Falcons, which y'all already know. I mean, if I can be wrong about anything in life, let it involve the Falcons. So I could care less. Right. I mean, I will take the L for the Falcons to lose the football game. I'll take that L. I actually taking two, man. I thought the Jets would have played a little bit better against Tampa, but yeah. TJ, when will they bench Warner? No speed, no strength, no dog. I don't know if they're gonna bench him or not, man. I don't know if they're gonna bench him or not. I don't know. We'll see. We need to put some Falcon in that gumbo. TJ, roll T Dirty and that, brother. Yeah, what's going on, man? Appreciate y'all for being here. Take that L with a smile. Look, I can care less. Like I feel about Saints fans and Derek Carr. I feel the same way with the Falcons. I can care less. I got that one wrong. I don't care. Like, look, we just predict games, right? Sometimes we get them right. Sometimes we get them wrong. But them boys get and beat to sleep. They getting beat to sleep, man. Let's see. The Riley kid needs to get some playing time today. I think he will. He's been in the game as a rotational guy. He's been out there. They'll give him some snaps. I think the New Orleans Saints want to make sure that they're 100%. 100% sure about Quincy Riley, which I can understand, folks. Like, you know, this is a kid that dealt with some injuries, you know, came in a little bit late, played in some preseason games, of course, but, you know, had like a little bit of a late start. So Isaac Adams, you know, he's not the best cornerback in the world, but, you know, good enough. Man, that was a good pass by Stafford right there. But good, you know, like good overall skills, enough to kind of weather the storm until, you know, you actually figure out the cornerback position. But I think more sooner rather than later, you'll see Quincy Riley out there. TJ, do you think Group E going if he misses inside 40-yard kick? I don't know if they're going to bench him. They'll probably like allow Charlie Smith to play the next game and see what he has. And if Charlie Smith end up, you know, being pretty solid, then I don't know. But they say they got faith in Blake Groupie, man. But, you know, I was listening to the Saints Insider show, which, you know, show I really like. And, oh, man, they ended up blocking the kick. What the heck was that? This man, the kicker picks the ball up and just flicks it in the air. Like, what? Insane. But anyway, I'm looking at that Eagles Rams game. But as far as Blake Groupie, like I said, the Saints Insider show, they was talking about how they got faith in Blake Groupie. Look, man. We got to stop calling these cats. I'm serious, man. Like, oh, man, they're going to get it together. Bro, you got one job. You got one job, my man, and that's to kick the ball between the uprights, right? I mean, you got the easiest job in football, to be honest with you. All you have to do is make the field goals. Like, I'm tired of them, like, kind of saving these dudes, man. Like, look, I get it. You'll be around a player for X amount of years, and, you know, you're sitting in the locker room, you're having conversations with them, you're talking with them, you develop a rapport, and you probably see these players from a more of a human perspective. You probably see their kids. You probably see them interacting with their families, and, you know, you become like emotionally invested in it. So you want to see them do well. But at the end of the day, Nah, bruh. Like, all he has is one job. And if he can't do that, then he needs to be cut. It's plain and simple. I'm not saying he can't get over this, but like, everybody telling me how good he is in preseason and how he ain't never missed no field goal. But look, I'm over what Homie did in training camp. I'm over what Homie did at this practice. I'm over that. Like, I'm serious. Can you go out there and the play in training camp, the play in practice translate to the field? If it can't, what are we talking about? If you out there like having a dominant performance in practice, but can't play dead in a Western during a regular season or a game of meaning, then what are we talking about here? And I think there's too many stories like that when it comes to these Saints players. I look at them and I'm just wondering, like, where the dogs at? I'm serious. Like, you got a few on the team, but they're few and far in between. And we just got to keep it real. And this is not I'm not trying to take shots or be disrespectful to any of the Saints players, but it is what it is. A lot of these guys need to step it up if this team is going to start winning some football games. And a lot of times it's about them not being disciplined. It's about guys not being able to make plays. It's about guys dropping footballs. But then when somebody says something about them, then all of a sudden you want to yap and talk to the crowd like you done did something. Nobody cares about you yapping at the crowd, man. Go out there, handle your business. I guarantee you, people will make shirts with your face on them. People will make songs about you. They will do all type of things around the city if you go out there and ball the hell out. But this isn't. We ain't trying to have these conversations with no fine-tooth gloves on. And I'm kind of sick of that, man. These dudes need to be held accountable. If it's 3rd and 3 and you wide open and Spencer Rattler throws you the football and you drop it and somebody talks about it, like, of course, like, it's warranted that you get criticized. I don't care about Blake Grupe and what he did in training camp. If this guy can't kick the ball between the uprights to keep the Saints in games, if they drive down the field, then what is he on the team for? I'm not saying give up on the dude. I guess, kickers go through little dry spells. I get all that. But if this dude continues down this, like, he got to sit down. You got to sit down and see what Charlie Smith has. So you're saying the Bengals should have won against the Vikings? Absolutely. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? No, sir. Who said that? TJ, don't you think Stutzman should get some playing time if he's good enough to play? If he's good enough to play, he should get some playing time. But look, I'm not in the department of having a guy play on the field because I like his some of the things that he does or the way that he tweets. Like, there's a reason why this dude ain't playing. Like, we got to be real. We only see, like, seriously, we only see these guys on certain days in certain situations. If they make a play, then what do? We end up talking about, man, they need to let them start. But there's a reason why this dude ain't starting. If he's good enough to beat out Pete Warner, why is he not on the field? Right? That's all I'm saying. Would it be great to see Danny Stutzman play? Yeah. But if he's not good enough and he's gonna be a liability in certain situations, why put him out there? Like, because we all know, like, let's just keep it 100. We know if this dude leaves a lot to be desired, people going to start criticizing him. They're not going to look at the fact that he's a rookie. They're not going to look at the fact that he's inexperienced. They're not going to look at the fact that he has to go through a little bit of some growing pains in order for him to get better. They're not going to do that. All they're going to say is, oh, man, this guy is not very good. Oh, he's not good enough to play. They're not going to look at any of those situations. And we saying the same thing. And before anybody says anything to me about, oh, man, no, it ain't TJ, they doing the same thing for Spencer Rattler. They doing the same thing to that dude right now. When everybody holding Spencer Rattler accountable, talking about he 0-8 as a starter, knowing that the New Orleans Saints was trash last year and put this man in an impossible situation. But instead of people understanding that, they rather just look at his record and take it for what it is and try to justify and validate their feelings about him. So, no, I don't want to see Danny Stutzman on the field unless Danny Stutzman is about to trump what Pete Warner has done as a linebacker with the New Orleans Saints. If he's playing better than Pete Warner has, then put him on the field. If he's a liability in any way, do not put this guy on the field, because Saints fans will not have the patience to allow this man to go through the motions because the New Orleans Saints fan base, in some cases, are one of the most impatient and in sometimes irrational fan bases in all of the NFL. Yes, I just said that. Get in where you fit in. If I'm talking about you, I'm talking about you. If I'm not, then I'm not. Plain and simple. Some of us don't know how to look at football and understand what the situation involves and why things aren't happening due to certain situations. All we see is see ball, drop ball, see ball, ball move left, ball move right. Oh, he got 7 yards. Oh, he got 10 yards. That's all we see. We don't see all the things that has happened in order for that play not to work. We're not seeing how these guys are being put out of position. All we see is, oh, man, he had a chance to do this and he didn't. Okay, I'm good on that, man. I'm good on that. Put that man out there if he's good enough to play. If not, then I won't see him, because I ain't trying to hear these Saints fan voices that are irrational and just watch the ball and hear them talk as loud as your surround sound television and talk about, what this player can't be and they ain't never going to be this and they'll bust after one play. Like, I'm good on that, man. I'm good on it. Like some of these Saints fans are as annoying as hell when it talks about and will continue to talk until like you just like, well, whatever. Don't be making no type of sense. But they're gonna talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk some more. So no, I don't want to see Danny Strussman out there. I'm sorry to go off like that, but it is pretty annoying. Give that man an opportunity to get a fair assessment so that man can really turn up and be the player that the Saints need him to be. Sean McVay isn't safe with leads. Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. Vikings beating the brakes off the Bengals. Man, that's an understatement. TJ, what are your thoughts on Reed? Haven't seen any plays made, man. See, that ain't true. That ain't true. There's one play in particular. Okay, so Justin Reed was in coverage, right? And there was a play where I want to say last week, 49ers threw a screen. This man beats the guy, around the corner, knocks him out of the way, and then gets in the backfield and tripped the player up for a loss. Like, he's out there making plays, man. But the thing about it is the plays may not seem like as impactful. Maybe it's like, oh, if he's forcing a fumble or he's catching an interception or something like that. But he's all over the field now. He's all over the field making plays. He's making plays, when it comes to tackling. Now, there's been a couple of plays, I want to say the first game of the season, but the second game versus the 49ers probably was a better showing. Like, I know what we think when we talk about making plays when it comes to the safety position. We talk about forcing fumbles, interceptions, but he's making plays, man. I mean, I just checked out the Saints all 22 this past week versus the 49ers, man. I mean, he was flashing all on the field. So, I mean, it's easy for us, like I said, it's easy for us to sit up and watch the ball. Like, that's why I encourage a lot of sports fans to go back and watch the game. Like after you finish watching, it's almost like a movie. You ever went to the movies and saw, and just watched the movie, and then maybe a month later you watch the movie again and you was like, man, I ain't see that. I ain't see that the first time I saw it. It's kind of like that. Or it's like when you watch a movie over and over again. It's like me and my wife on Friday, we watched the movie Booty Call with Jamie Foxx and Tommy Davidson, right? I watched that movie so many times that I know the movie by heart, like line for line, right? And there were parts of the movie, that I missed because at the time I watched it a lot when I was a kid. But growing up, I was like, man, it probably was something that I missed as a youngster that I caught as an adult. So all I'm saying is go back and watch the tape, right? Go back and watch it. And sometimes you end up missing out on something that you probably didn't see the first time around. But Penix is amazing. Yeah, amazingly terrible today. Amazingly terrible. Falcons got to go to Kirk Cousins and lose too much money anyway. They're not going back no Kirk Cousins, man. Michael Penix will be back out there next week. He'll be out there next week. Tough day at the office, man. Tough day at the office. But it's probably best that he actually went through that because, it just shows you not as good as people say you are. You're not as bad as people say you are. I need your YouTube TV password login. Let's see. I don't remember Rattler getting benched the way Penix did. Well, look, let's just hope that's not the case. Let's just hope that's not the case. You can watch something a million times, but it will always be something you miss. Yep, Charmaine, that's the truth. That is the truth. You're always going to end up missing something that you don't see. So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes, like we get caught watching a football, justifiably so. But I'm just saying, like, go back and watch the game. Like once you finish knowing the outcome, I know it's tough, especially like when the Saints don't win. It's kind of hard for us to go back and watch that. But at the end of the day, like that's how you end up like understanding and seeing who's doing what. Eagles at the red zone. Yeah, I'm actually looking at that, and I'm seeing Jalen Hurts scrambling. You know, but I mean, look, that's still gonna be a one possession game, and I mean the Rams wanted that game. I mean, it looked like they. I mean, they were dominated. They were dominating in the first half, but I mean, they didn't make any adjustments. And speaking of adjustments, that I want to make this very clear too. This is why I feel like even though I'm picking the Saints not to win this game against Seattle, I want to tell you why I feel like the New Orleans Saints could win this football game. Because Clint Kubiak and his offensive staff can't make second half adjustments. They can't make second half adjustment. I mean, they couldn't make them in New Orleans. And looking at Seattle, I don't really see too many adjustments being made in the second half either. Let me go back and let me take a look because I make sure that I ain't tripping. All right, let me go back and take a look because I want to see what their box scores have been throughout the. Let me see. So they beat last week. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17. All right. Most of it, most of it came off, defensive plays and stuff like that and short yardage situations. I just think that, I'm just questioning like them making these second half adjustments. All right, because they scored 3 points against the 49ers in the second half. Right? I mean, as an offense, I want to say maybe they scored 7 in the second half last week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm just wondering, like, can it be the same way it was when it was in New Orleans? If the Saints can make better adjustments, which they have, man. The Saints have made some really good second half adjustments over the last couple of weeks. TJ, people talking about Kamara gaining 100 yards last week. That's great, but overall, the Niners own the clock. I'm very disappointed with Kendrick running back. Are you talking about Kendre? Are you talking about Kendre Miller? I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think he had a really good showing last week, but he's been playing pretty well. Hey, TJ, the Saints have to stay ahead of the change. Yeah, you got to get those short yardage situations, man. You can't be trying to throw on first down. Like, I just hope that Kellen Moore just goes out there and understands that. Let me take a few more, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, get prepared for the game. Says, I just have to say that I'm so elated to see Carolina whoop up on Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, they beating these boys to sleep, man. I did not see that coming. I mean, I see, like, of course, it's a divisional game. You see those type of things, where games are close, but to the magnitude of how they are beating up on the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, I don't think nobody saw that coming, man. 30-0. They beat them boys 30-0. Didn't score a touchdown. 30-0. Man, it's going to be an interesting NFC South roundtable this Tuesday, man. It's going to be real. I mean, what they so they cut Younghoe Koo because they was like, man, we got John Parker Wilson, man. We good now. He kicked 5 field goals on primetime television. We good, man. And then all of a sudden, they come back out there the next week after they cut Younghoe Koo, and this man can't hit the back of a barn door. I mean, wide right, wide left, And y'all just, you can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up, bro. And like I said, it's one of the main reasons why I've been telling people about Raheem Morris. Like, Raheem Morris is the new Dennis Allen. Like, he is Dennis Allen. And man, look, I hope that they continue to allow this dude to be their head coach, because they ain't gonna win nothing with him. They are not winning anything with this dude, plain and simple. Like, if they get themselves a better coach, then I'll be a little bit concerned. But as long as they got Raheem Morris as their head coach, they ain't winning jack. They are not winning. They are not winning. I call him the Black Dennis Allen for a reason, folks. The Falcons used less. I'm tripping. Have been straight trash versus the Panthers for a minute. Yeah. Somebody wrote this. They said the Falcons are the only reason why Bryce Young is employed. If it wasn't for the Falcons, then he probably wouldn't have a job. But Bryce Young was 16 of 24, 121 yards. He had a rushing touchdown in the game, right? I mean, they didn't even really do too much anything. They didn't even do too much offensively. I'm looking at Chuba Hubbard at 17 carries for 73 yards. Rico Dowdle, 10 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. I mean, it was mostly like because they were turning the ball over. I mean, you got a pick six, an interception, like they was giving them short fields. So, I don't know. They're going to have to figure that thing out. But speaking of figuring it out, the New Orleans Saints are going to have to figure it out a way to try to knock off the Seattle Seahawks. If they do, it should be exciting, but it's going to be a tough game. But if they can cut down on the penalties, stay ahead of the chains, they can be there in the end. And hopefully it can come with a W, because Lord knows Saints fans need that badly, and so does this football team. I think it will boost the confidence of quarterback Spencer Rattler, Kellen Moore, and also the entire team, to make them feel like, man, we're trending in the right direction. We're chopping wood. Like, we building it up, right, in order for us to get better. So let's see if that actually works. Let's see if we see a better version of the New Orleans Saints in Seattle on today. Thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. We'll be back for the post-game show, but first we'll be doing a post-game show on the Bleacher Report. Be sure to check that out. That will be immediately following the Saints versus Seahawks game. And, of course, we'll be doing a post-game show where I want to hear from the Who Dat Nation about the Saints, win, lose, or draw. Till next time, all I got to say is, Who Dat?